Down with this sort of thing. Careful now.
What is up everybody, and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be going through my team selection ahead of Game Week 26. As many of you are aware, I have decided to wildcard ahead of Game Week 26 in order to try and best prepare for the upcoming blank and double game weeks. In this video I'll go through my team selection and discuss why I've gone for certain players. Game Week 26 was a tough game week for most managers, but especially for me, as I took a massive red arrow down from 255k to 118k. Having took a -12 for Game Week 25, which included taking out Martinelli for a hit, it backfired massively and has left me looking to recover my season. Hopefully this team selection can help start the rebuild, and without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off in nets for Game Week 26, we have Raya, who faces Fulham at home. I had previously decided to keep Kepa on my wildcard, however after some careful consideration, I believe it is valuable to instead remove him and go for Raya and Sanchez as my two goalkeepers. Brentford have shown strong defensive form throughout the season and are particularly impressive when at home. Having both Raya and Sanchez for Game Week 26 onwards allows me to rotate between the two based on their fixtures, and also grants me an extra fixture in Game Week 27 if I decide to bench boost then. Whilst most of Brentford's fixtures over the next few game weeks are away, this would not be enough to put me off Raya. Brentford are in the top 10 for clean sheets this season, which is also encouraging. Whilst Brighton don't have the most impressive defensive stats, Sanchez is a strong pick due to the ability to cover the Brighton defence whilst also preparing for the upcoming double game weeks. Moving on to the defensive line for Game Week 26, we have James, Gabriel and Pinnock. The defensive line sees the second Brentford player join the team alongside James and Gabriel. Having originally owned White, I have decided to instead go for Gabriel in order to avoid any headaches due to squad rotation. Since the World Cup, Bournemouth, Fulham and Crystal Palace have conceded the most attempts for set play since the restart, which is also big for Gabriel. The reason as to why I've gone for Pinnock over me is whilst he is 0.6 million less, he also provides similar goal and bonus point threat as me. Saving these funds will be vital when managers look to make moves in Game Week 28 and 29. Every FPL manager knows how exciting of an asset James can be when he's in form, and I'm hoping for an exciting performance from him this weekend, especially while he's still low owned. Having Thiago Silva out is a massive hit for Chelsea and Reece James, and will certainly affect their clean sheet chances. However, my hope is that Potter will move to a back 3 style, which could allow James to play higher up the pitch where we know how dangerous he is. Going for Reece on a Game Week 26 wildcard is certainly a risk, but is still one I'm willing to take. My midfield for Game Week 26 lines up with Saka, Odegaard, March and Mitoma. Whilst Saka picks himself for this team, a conversation could be had in regards to Odegaard and Martinelli. Prior to the restart, Odegaard's numbers were much better than Martinelli, however this is now the opposite, with Martinelli performing better than Odegaard. One of the main reasons as to why I've gone for Odegaard is due to his guaranteed minutes. Whilst Martinelli has played 90 minutes in his last 2 games, this is due to Nketiah being out injured. When Jesus returns, it is likely that Martinelli will again have his minutes reduced as he competes with Trossard for his place. Going for Odegaard avoids this problem. March and Mitoma are also obvious picks due to Brighton's fixtures. An argument can be made for going for McAllister over Mitoma due to the data. However, March and Mitoma are nailed wingers who usually play in a much more advanced role than McAllister. Whilst McAllister is currently playing as a 10, it is likely that he will eventually see himself play slightly deeper once Lallana returns from his injury. I would recommend paying attention to the information from the Brighton press conference in order to see the status of March, who has been injured. Lastly, my Game Week 26 attack sees Kane, Haaland and Tony all start on what I believe is the most optimal attacking line for the Game Week 26 wildcard. The benefit of having Kane on the wildcard is that you can move him to Watkins or Iheanacho in Game Week 29 in order to bring in Bruno for United's double game week. This means you can keep Kane for Wolves, Everton and Southampton before removing him when his fixtures turn. I've seen some people discuss the possibility of removing Haaland in order to bring in Watkins. In my opinion, this idea is crazy. As we have seen time and time again, Haaland can easily haul against any opposition. By removing him, you're 100% banking on him not returning or hauling at any point, because if he does, it will destroy your rank. Tony is in the team regardless of the possibility of a ban. As per the latest FA update, it is unlikely action will be taken against Tony before April, which means it will be around Game Week 29 before we see him possibly suspend it. Therefore, we can own him for his future fixtures against Fulham and his double game week against Everton and Southampton, which is perfect. On the bench for Game Week 26, we have Sanchez, Rashford, Trippier and Botman. The decision to bench Rashford in Game Week 26 is still one I'm not 100% sure on. Rashford is arguably the most informed player, so it may be a bad idea to bench him against a weak Liverpool defence. Meanwhile, Trippier and Botman face off against Man City at the Etihad, so are obvious benchings. Having double Newcastle defence on my Game Week 26 wildcard was not something I had originally planned. However, by doing so, I'm able to play 11 players in blank Game Week 28 by making one transfer that week. As I have argued numerous times in the video, I believe this is the most optimal wildcard team for me in Game Week 26. However, what is important to remember is that the decision to wildcard will always be team dependent, and just because I am wildcarding doesn't mean you need to wildcard. If you have a team with Brentford and Brighton players and 1 to 2 Liverpool players, then I would argue that you could hold off at least 1 week before wildcarding. As always, it is hard to say whether the decision to wildcard in Game Week 26 will pay off, so we will have to wait and see how it goes. That's going to do it for the Game Week 26 team selection video. If you did find the video helpful, then please do drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments down below what your plans are ahead of Game Week 26. Also make sure to follow me on Twitter at fplfatherted. Thanks for watching and good luck this game week.